What up, y'all? It's TTAR, and today we're looking at what Kalos Pokemon might Mega Evolve in Pokemon Legends Z and trying to be realistic about it. Last time we left off with Hawlucha giving it the no, and next up is Dedenne. If Dedenne got a Mega Evolution, that would be catastrophic. Could you imagine? The starters don't Mega Evolve, Auroras don't Mega Evolve, but we get Mega Dedenne. You know what? I'm giving you the X. This should be an easy one. We do have some unique Pikachu cases, like Pikachu itself evolving, as well as Pawmi evolving. So you could get something like that with Dedenne, but honestly, it just looked like Dedenne gonna be the exact same in this game. No evolution or nothing. Little do you know, somewhere in Monster Studios, they're drawing up Mega Dedenne as we speak. Moving on, next up is Carbink. This is a really interesting Pokemon. See, Carbink is a mini Diancie, and Diancie has a Mega Evolution. In a weird way, they could introduce a Mega Carbink. Even lore-wise, you could make something like they take the Diancieite and they can make a Carbinkite out of it, and all the Carbinks can Mega Evolve into a similar form to Diancie. Diancie's Mega Evolution kind of feeds into the princess vibe. It like gets this whole dress, but Carbinks doesn't have to look as elegant. It could get something like when it Mega Evolves, you just get these gems shooting out of it, because it seems to be based off the Carbuncle, which is just this mythical creature. Let me see if I can get a photo. It's stuff like this. It's just a creature that has a gemstone. Here's like another take from Final Fantasy, which is what like the top part of Carbink is, right? So you could have a bad Mega Evolution where the gems just shoot out of it, and it's just this clump that's extremely defensive. Or you could have like a good Mega Evolution where it's able to form into a mythical creature like Pokemon again, like a Carbuncle. Carbink's a very interesting Pokemon though, because it does have 500 BST. So if it Mega Evolved, it would get the same base stat total as base Diancie. You could do something where Carbink can even Mega Evolve to mock the appearance of Diancie, because even though Diancie is like considered the princesses of the Carbinks, it's also like an evolved mutated Carbink. It's the classic Carbon into Diamond. So technically any Carbink could become something like a Diancie. So you could make a Mega Evolution where this Pokemon Mega Evolves, gets longer, and actually looks like an odd Diancie. Not that Diancie is some kind of permanent Mega Pokemon, it's just the potential within Carbink realized. I know Pokemon would want to give Pokemon a Mega Evolution to make them more usable in the metagame, as well as making more ass Pokemon liked, but I think they would give some freebies to stuff like this just for the sake of it being cool. Let's look up a Mega Carbink. Oh wow. So I couldn't find any fan art for Mega Carbink, but I did find this. So someone made just a simple evolution for it, reverting it back into that Carbuncle creature. So you could alternatively have something like this for Mega Carbink, where you see Carbink right now has 150 in both defenses. It's extremely defensive. But if it reverted into something like this, and it's nice, it got the gems on the back, it's reminiscent of Diancie. Something like this could sacrifice its defenses for massive speed and like special attack and all. So it would be a lot like Mega Diancie. This is so weird to say, but Carbink, no one wants you, but I'm giving you the check mark. I think Mega Carbink could legitimately happen. Typing wise, it should stay rock fair. You can't really get around that typing because it is this Pokemon that's carrying that gem. But yeah, going back to the first idea, a Carbuncle, if it's not a mythical creature, it's also that red gem itself. It's called the Carbuncle. So you could go back to that gem shooting out of a Carbink idea, and that would make for a bad ending Mega Evolution. Just to differentiate Carbink and Diancie more, right? If you give Diancie an elegant Mega and then Carbink an ass one, it helps counterpart them more. But on the flip side, you could just make both of them more elegant when they Mega Evolve. It's whichever you pick, Game Freak. Maybe you pick none. Alright, moving on to the big one. Goodra. Goodra is a Pokemon that completely deserves a Mega Evolution. You see, they specifically gave Mega Evolutions to pseudo-legendaries. You would think, bro, there's enough popular Pokemon covered by Megas. There's not that many pseudo-Megas. Listen to this. T-tar, Metagross, Salamence, Garchomp. When X and Y first came out, that was 4 out of the 7 pseudos that were given a Mega. The only ones not on the list are Dragonite, Hydreigon, and Goodra. Goodra belongs to the region of Mega Evolution. It's time. Goodra, you are Mega Evolving in this game. You have to. Now, they're gonna have to get around something. Can Hisui and Goodra also Mega Evolve if this happens? That's a different topic. And technically, since it's not gonna be called like the Hisui and Goodra, They should be able to. But Game Freak might have changed their idea. And now when you pick up a Megastone, it might say, you know, like Slowbro Knight and in brackets Cantonian. So you got to see how Game Freak would play it. I do have an idea on that. But Goodra, the base Goodra from Kalos, has to Mega Evolve. And it's gonna reach that beautiful 700 BST that only a few Pokemon have. Look at these beautiful stats Goodra has. It's actually very balanced. It has the HP and defenses to be really bulky, especially. But then look, both of its attacks are huge. And it's even so fast for being this sluggish Pokemon. It's way faster than a T-Tar. So this will be an interesting case to look into because it gets an ability like Sap Sipper, which lets it suck up grass moves. It gets hydration for the rain. It also evolves in the rain. So there's so many different directions they could go with for a Mega. So let's go to its Pokedex entries. It attacks with retractable horns. It throws a punch that's equivalent to the force of 100 pro boxers. Goodra punching? Goodra, you're becoming a lot different than I thought. An amazingly friendly Pokemon, but if left to itself, loneliness overcomes it and it oozes gooey tears. It's a freaking gentle giant. It gets picked on because it's meek, but then whoever teased it gets to feel the full force of its horns and a good swatting from its thick tail. You know what could be interesting? Okay, so first off, if Goodra Mega Evolved, you could do something like it loses that loving side to it and it becomes a very vengeful Pokemon. Wouldn't it be crazy to see that Mega Evolution on this happy looking Goodra and what you see in front of you has a very angry expression, red eyes or something. Its freaking antenna would go huge and turn around. Its tail would be like wrapping around or something. But you could do something interesting that only a few Megas have actually gotten this, which is a type change. You could make it, I think y'all already know, Water Dragon or Dragon Water. Now, it doesn't have to be a water type, it just loves the rain. It doesn't have to wield the water like that. And even adapting to a different environment in Hisui, it's not like it was easily tapping into being a water type. It became a steel type instead. But it's always something up for grabs, right? It is this sticky Pokemon. So if you overclock that sticky power, oozing these globby tears and all, look at it, it's got all the stickiness on it. You could make it effectively a water type. You could give it some signature move that does like 120 damage, water move, and it's a punch. 80 accuracy lowers the opponent's speed if it lands. The reason this is cool is because there's not many water dragon types at all. We got Tatsugiri, Kingdra, Palkia, Dracovish. Is there any others? Walking Wake. Okay, we got 5 of them. That's a good one to add to the list. A gooey water dragon Mega Goodra. I'm giving you the check mark. You have to get it. Let's look at some fan art. People have to have given this thing a redemption. These are not what I expected. Y'all should know why I'm making this face right now. I forgot. The poor Goodra. They've ruined it online. Why do I have to cycle through all this crap? Can't y'all just look at a freaking dragon and leave it alone? What is this, Goodra dummy thick or something? I can't tell how you look at that and decide to do this. Goodra, I'm giving you the X. You're not Mega Evolving. So Goodra is actually a hard Pokemon that people have not designed a proper Mega for. So here's one I found where they kind of just gave it simple additions. So it's got a second tail growing, its top of its head, the antennas have just flowed extra. It kind of just looks like a beefed up Goodra, the same way like Sharpedo and Camerupt do. So this is totally something they could do. And that string cheese hairstyle legit sound like something Game Freak wanna do. But I mean, if Goodra getting a Mega, you know, especially after we've waited so many years for new Mega Evolutions, I really don't just want buffed up designs anymore. I actually want something unique happening to them. At the end of the day, stuff like Mega Houndoom, Mega T-Tar kinda, they're not as interesting. And now that we have regional variants anyway, we can reimagine small variations like that as regional variants. Now when Pokemon Mega Evolve, they should get something unique to them. It doesn't have to be a type change, but at least a very unique appearance. Oh darn! Woo! Wait a sec, here's one from my boy Elite Robo. This is beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. This is what needs to happen to Mega Goodra. It is so slimy now. So it's overflowing so much, it's like freaking vomiting out the water. Those small spots you saw in Goodra that were dripping have now been engulfed in this, and it became a dragon water type. And they did the cool thing with making it on all fours, which does fit for a lot of Pokemon. But yeah, that expression is exactly it. It looks a bit out of its mind here. Let's see what they wrote. This form grants Goodra the ability to temporarily melt its own body into a liquid as to increase its mobility. It said that this process is painful for the Pokemon. This is perfect. You can have some fun stuff with this. So you see its defensive stats. Its HP can change when it Mega Evolves. And its defense might go up to like 80 or something. But you could see its special defense dropping to like 110. And its speed skyrocketing to like 160. To show it's losing its bulk for that speed as described, right? Those kind of Mega Evolutions are my favorite. What they did with Garchomp and all, messing up its stats, it's beautiful, man. Shank that like button. You want to know my final answer? Goodra, you get in the X. I never want to see more fan art of Goodra in my life. Game Freak gonna be on my wavelength. They gonna look at Goodra, know it deserves a Mega, and no, do not give it one. Y'all brought this on yourself. Next time we'll finish the Pokedex. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.